Good afternoon. My name is Tanya Hilton. I'm a Young Living Independent Educator, and I want to welcome you today to our Back to School with Young Living Essential Oils class. First, I'd like to give a special thanks to Young Living Legacy for their preparation of this PowerPoint presentation and allowing us to use it. So thank you guys. So in this class, we're going to show you how to be empowered, prepared, and equipped for perfect attendance. When you think about back to school, what's the first thing that comes to mind? For many moms, many parents in general, you think of the stress, the schedules, the activities, being busy, going back and forth, picking up your kids, dropping them off. With back to school, though, you also have the cooler weather. You have illnesses, colds, the flu. You have kids getting together, giving their besties hugs, and you have a lot of germs going on. So how can we help you with Young Living? One of the things we'll do is we'll talk about, what exactly is an essential oil. The oils are the life-giving essence that come from the plants. It can come from the leaves, the flowers, roots, or stems. It can even come from the bark. The essential oils or the oils actually carry the oxygen, nutrients, and waste into and out of the plant. But research has found that the chemical structure of essential oils is similar to that of the human cells and tissue. They are naturally antibacterial and antifungal, and because of this, that they protect the plant from pests and disease, they also can work in the same way and protect us as well. So research has found that the plant oils are very similar to the blood, and they can do the same thing for themselves as they do for the human body. A lot of people ask me what's the difference between using essential oils or using drugs. When you use over-the-counter medications, you're looking at detoxifying your system basically. Drugs are going to clog and confuse the receptor cells. They work to depress the immune system, and they attack when you use antibiotics. They're actually attacking all the bacteria in your body. They don't discriminate. They kill the good stuff and they kill the bad stuff. Essential oils can actually work to detoxify the system. They they clean the receptor sites and they work to strengthen the immune system. Essential oils actually attack only the harmful bacteria, allowing your body's natural flora to flourish. So while drugs work to unbalance the body, essential oils can actually work to balance the body. Because essential oils properly applied always work towards the restoration of proper body function, they do not cause undesirable side effects. That's one of the important things as a parent that you want to make sure. So let's get into some of the essential oils that we will be using during the winter time or during the school time. These are some of the oils that I use year round, but still they're even more important when it comes to back to school season. Lemon and citrus fresh are our first oils. Lemon works to improve concentration. The citrus oils in general can work to reduce depression and boost the immune system, and they also induce relaxation. So that's important because when your kids are going at the school time, when they come home, you want them to stop. You want them to be able to start to relax and get ready to recharge. Lemon oil has also been researched and it can kill the meningitis bacteria virus or bacteria in 15 minutes when you diffuse it. It's also diffusing, it can kill off staph within 2 hours. I use it sometimes in the bathtub. When the kids are in the bath, I just put a drop in the bathtub. I know that it's cleaning the bathtub and it's also boosting their immune system. So if my kids have any yuckies going on, they have coughs or snotty nose, I'll put a couple drops in the tub with them, and it just helps to boost their immune system and also kill off any of that yucky stuff that might be in their system. Citrus fresh is also another good one. We like to diffuse it during study time to kill off airborne bacteria. That's the same thing for the lemon. It's been shown that adding 1 to 2 drops to the water can actually raise your white blood count. And applying it to a paper towel and then using it to wipe off the desk or sitting areas. You can even do this in your kitchen, but make your own antibacterial wipies. You can make it with the citrus fresh and you can do it with the lemon. Not only is it going to clean, but you don't have to worry about your little ones coming through and touching things that might be dangerous for their body, putting your fingers in their mouth all the time. We do sometimes even put a couple drops on the hand, rub their hands together, and then I don't worry about my daughter putting her fingers in her mouth and getting sick because of some chemicals that might be in the antibacterial jars as well. Another great one that we use often, we use this a lot last winter when we first were introduced to essential oils. I was finding that when we first moved out to Arizona, which this month, it was 2 years ago this month, our kids were sick every single month. I'm sitting here thinking, we come to Arizona, the weather's supposed to be nicer, you're not supposed to get sick. We had allergies and colds every month. I remember, and I came with a newborn baby. The first few months that we came, I couldn't keep anybody. And I just figured my son had just started preschool, or pre-K. It must be that he was in pre-K and getting exposed to all these germs. Well, last winter we had thieves. First sign of a sickness, first scratchy throat, first cough that came from a kid, I would start diffusing thieves in the diffuser 24 hours until all the yuckies were gone. And I would also put thieves on the bottom of the feet. So depending on the amount of how bad they cold they seem, I would do a drop of thieves in the morning and a drop of thieves before bed. If they had already had a full-blown cold, not only would I diffuse the diffuser throughout the evening, but I would put a drop of thieves on the feet every few hours. And I did the same for myself. It's funny because I could actually even tell come springtime whether I had a cold or I had allergies, because if I did thieves all day long and the next morning I still had snotty nose, I knew it was allergies, because I knew that the thieves would make me feel better by the next morning. So that's something that we do in the house. Thieves is one of the oils we don't run out of. You also have the Thieves Sanitizer hand cleaners. You have the Thieves Spray, which is great for sore throats. The neat thing about the little Thieves Sprays is that I carry one in my purse. This is a true story. We went to Virginia just this past June, June of this year, to visit family, and I changed my daughter on one of those bathroom changing tables, not thinking anything of it. I'd done it before with my other kids, and 2 days later, she breaks out in a rash on her legs. And it was funny to me because the rash was also on the bottom of her feet. And I'm like, this just isn't normal. Took her to the doctor, of course. You take her to the doctor, and they didn't know what it was. After she started getting spots around her mouth, I did some research. Since my husband's a nurse, he was like, that's hand, foot, mouth disease. We're thinking, where could she have gotten this? We've been with family, except for that one time that we were at the public bathroom at the mall. So she passed it to my 4-year-old. Luckily, it stopped there, but just the two of them had it. And it was bad. My poor 4-year-old couldn't even drink because his throat was so sore. I did not have thieves with me. It was a mistake that I would never make again. I came home. I ordered thieves on my Essential Rewards order that month. It was here by the time I got back from vacation. I made my own thieves spray. I keep it with me in my purse. Everywhere I go, I spray everything. I was one of those moms that was like, germs is good for them. After my child got hand, foot, mouth disease, nope, not going to happen again. So I was in another public bathroom and I had to change my daughter. I pulled out my thieves spray. I sprayed the entire changing table down, and then I felt safe that I was able to change her without her getting any germs or any bacteria or viruses. I spray my kids' hands before we eat if we're out in public. I even spray public tables down because I used to work in a restaurant. I know how they would wipe down the tables, and they have a wet rag and a nasty, dirty, bleach-filled bucket, and they use that throughout the day. So it's kind of gross. So I spray down the tables. Everywhere we go, I use my Thieves Spray down. There's also been studies that came out. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this name, but it's the main ingredient in antibacterial hand wash, or not just the hand wash, but even like those bottles that you carry around in your purse that every mom used to have. Studies have come out that that is actually worse for children these days. The triclosan. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. I'm awful at that. But that stuff, studies have come out saying that it's actually worse for children. It's making children sicker, and not to use it anymore because it has been shown to disrupt reproductive systems in animals. Development, they've come up with developmental hormone issues. It's banned in many countries outside of the United States, and recently has been banned in Minnesota. So it's just going to keep going on that the rest of the United States is going to follow suit, and they're going to ban the use of this. Luckily for us, we have Thieves carried around with you. You can carry the little cootie killer in your purse, or you can carry the spray like I do. I don't leave home without it. And also, as a plus, when my kids aren't feeling good, or someone starts saying they have a sore throat, or if I have a sore throat, I pull out my bottle, spray my mouth, I'm good to go. So try doing that with the other hand sanitizer. I don't think it's going to work for you. You can actually use the Thieves Cleaner for cleaning just about anything. This is they have the Thieves Cleaner, and I use it to wash my laundry. I use it to wash the dishes in the dishwasher. I make my own spray bottles, fill it up with the Thieves Cleaner and water. I spray my kitchen. I disinfect my kitchen. I disinfect my floors. Every surface in my home is cleaned with the Thieves Cleaner. I found out the hard way that my daughter, this is all before I was introduced to essential oils, what's the number one thing you use to clean with? Bleach. Found out the hard way that my daughter, she's 2 years old now, but she's allergic to bleach. Every time I was putting her in the bathtub, she was breaking out in hives. Only from the waist up, like where the water line was down, she was fine, but the waist up, she'd break out in hives. No matter what it was, we discontinued all foods that we thought would be causing it, and it turned out it was the bleach. I had stopped using the bleach because we were using bleach thieves or the Thieves Cleaner when we got into the oils, and the hive stopped. Um, Several months later, my husband cleaned the bathroom with bleach. You know, he likes the smell of bleach, so he used the bleach, regular bleach, to clean the bathroom. That night, I gave my daughter a bath. She broke out in hives. I asked him what he used to clean the bathroom with, and it was the bleach. So again, we have stopped using the bleach, and the hives went away. So we use the Thieves Cleaner to clean everything: toilets, counters, bathtubs, glass. You can use it for just about anything. Now, the cool thing too is my daughter likes to get into the spray bottles. You know how we all have those child-proof locks at the bottom of our cleaning products? She's, that little smarty pants is going to get me in trouble, but she can get into just about anything, and she will get the bottles out. And I don't have to worry, because if she sprays in her face or her eyes, I know it's just going to be cleaner. I try to keep it away from her, but I have caught her a few times spraying it into the air, but I don't have to worry about having to call poison control. So that's another plus too, that we use the Thieves Cleaner, and we know that it's not going to hurt them either. Thieves is a blend that comes, it is a blend of cinnamon, clove, rosemary, lemon, and eucalyptus. Again, it's one of these that I don't go without at all. Since last winter, when we got rid of all of our colds, and none of us got sick from the flu or anything like that. Here's also a neat thing too. My son got a splinter in his foot, and I had read this slide before where it says it can pull splinters out to the surface. He got a pretty deep splinter. He's 4 years old, so of course, anywhere trying to go close to his foot with pliers or tweezers, he wanted nothing to do with that. So I asked him if I could use the oils. He said yes. I put some oils on his foot. I came back 5 minutes later, and the head of the splinter had come up. So I was able to grab it very quickly and pull it out. It was amazing. I have to admit, I was skeptical, but I tried it and it worked. So Thieves also has a proven kill rate of 99.6. If you look at the bleach bottles themselves, you'll see that it says kills 99.9 or 99.98% of germs that causes colds. This, you'll be able to see, Thieves has a kill rate of 99.96 of all airborne microorganisms. This includes strep, staph, MRSA, E. coli, even toxic black mold. So again, this is the one that we use throughout the house for all the cleaning. There has been a lot of studies on the use of Thieves. There has been studies that show that, like I said, it gets rid of the staph. It can get rid of black mold. MRSA is now found in up to 70% of people diagnosed with a staph infection. So this is definitely one of those oils that if you work in the healthcare facility, or if you are going to visit family members that are in hospitals, you probably want to carry some Thieves with you, or a Thieves Cleaner. So Thieves was introduced by Gary Young with this formula into the modern world in the 21st century. It is the #1 defense for modern day plagues and viruses and bacteria. It's basically one of our first flu shots. I'm not sure if many of you have heard me talk about the story of flu before, but I will go through it real quickly. Back in the 15th century, you had a band of thieves going in and out of cities in France, and they weren't getting sick. They would go into these homes, into these villages where people were contracting the plague, dying from the plague. It was extremely contagious. These band of thieves weren't getting sick. So when they were actually caught, they were asked, how is it that you guys didn't get sick? You came into these cities and these villages and you guys didn't get sick. Well, it turns out that the band of thieves were from a long line of spice and oil traders, and their family line had a recipe that they had used to keep from getting colds or plagues or illnesses that were common back then. They shared that formula with the people who had captured them, and they posted it in the town square. And this is actually what began the end of the plague. So the interesting fact about this is that I did research this, and there is the original recipe written down from this time in a museum. So you can see that it has the same blends that we use these days. The same thing with cinnamon, the same thing with eucalyptus, with lemon. So it's a pretty interesting story of thieves, and I enjoy talking about it. And I enjoy the history behind it as well. Here we are, centuries later, and it's the same formula used back then, and it still works. So we did talk about lemon before. Like I said, it is one of the oils that I use every single day. I put it in my water. Studies have shown that it does boost the immune system. It can actually increase white blood count. It induces relaxation. It reduces stress, and it does reduce depression. It also can improve memory and concentration by 54%. So this is one of the ones that I joke with some of my friends, and I tell them that if they use lemon in a diffuser, it actually promotes a desire to clean. So I told them to put the diffuser in the kitchen, put the lemon in there, and then turn it on when their husbands are around so they can get them to start cleaning the kitchen and cleaning the house as well. But lemon is one of those fresh, clean smells. Absolutely love it, but I love to drink it too. I enjoy it in my water every day. Purification is another one of those oils that is a very powerful antiseptic. It has an antibacterial properties, antifungal, and it's basically used like a sanitizer. It has citronella, lemongrass, tea tree oil, myrtle, rosemary. We use this to repel bugs. We also, personally in our home, we have made a bug spray with it. So I use about 2 to 4 ounces of water in a little plastic spray bottle. I put 5 to 10 drops of purification and a drop of peppermint, and I use that as a bug spray. Interesting story is this summer, my husband is a fanatic about using that off spray, and I tell him don't use it on the kids. If he wants to use it, he's an adult, go right ahead. So he uses it, but he always uses a lot. Well, I guess he ran out, and he comes and asked me one evening. He had been sitting out back grilling on the barbecue, and he asked me, where's the bug spray? And of course, I don't know. I don't use that stuff. So I told him I didn't know, and he said that we were out. So he says, well, which one of those oils you have, works for the bugs? I told him it was purification. So he goes into my closet where I keep the oils, and I can instantly start smelling purification throughout the house. And I'm like, you only need a couple of drops. He put a whole lot on him. And he went outside, and he said, sure enough, he did not get a single bug bite the entire evening. He was out there for a few hours too, so not a single bug bite. I also use purification when my son, again, before I started using the oils, my son would get chronic ear infections. He actually failed an ear test to enter preschool because he had so many ear infections. And we were going to the doctor's office every other month, and all they would want to do is keep putting him on antibiotics. And they said if he continues to have ear infections, that he was going to have surgery. So when I was introduced to the oils, again, was about this time. And remember how I mentioned we were sick all the time before we found oils? So I'm sure that those colds contribute to the ear infections. But I started using purification. He would complain about an earache, and I would start with purification around the ear. You can even put it on a cotton ball and stick it in the ear. Don't drop the oils directly into the ear canal, but I would use the purification and lavender, both of those for the ear, and we dropped down drastically from an ear infection every month to one every couple of months. Now I can't remember the last time he had an ear infection. I know it hasn't been since December, so completely got rid of those ear infections using the purification. It's also a great one to put in shoes. If you have stinky shoes, put a drop of purification in the shoes and it should help with that smell. Another oil that we enjoy using is Peace and Calming. It does promote a very restful sleep. We use it every single night in our home. We put it in the diffuser. I have a diffuser in my bedroom, the children's bedroom, the boys' bedroom, and my daughter's bedroom. I use Peace and Calming and lavender every single night in their diffuser. Just put a drop or two of each, and they're out. They fall asleep very quickly. Sometimes I do add the Peace and Calming and lavender to the bath. You can even put half a cup of Epsom salt. Just mix it around, in the tub. Put a couple drops, and it helps to just calm them down and get them ready for bed. This is a blend that it's kind of close to my heart. This is a vetiver, cedarwood, and lavender blend. This is used very often for children with attention deficit disorder. You can also use this for children. If you replace the lavender with the Valor, you can use it for children with autism. I have had some amazing results from using the vetiver and the Valor for autism. My son, last year when he started kindergarten, they told us to be prepared. They have children in these special autism programs for many, many years, 5th graders, 9th graders, 12th graders, and they told us to be prepared for that. Since using the vetiver, cedarwood, and Valor blend, we have seen a drastic change in Caleb, so much so that come April, they told us they felt that he was ready to graduate to a general education class. So we were very excited about that, and I absolutely just believe it was the blend that we were using with these. The vetiver, or the Valor, the lavender we do use every single night, but the cedarwood and the vetiver and Valor we use every morning. So here we have the Valor and the frankincense, and again, these are really good to help with concentration. The frankincense it not only is it going to help with the concentration, but it does help with bronchitis, with colds, with staph, any type of inflammation. I actually use frankincense in capsules every day for ulcerative colitis to control the inflammation. Ulcerative colitis is a very painful disease. An incurable disease, but the only thing that I have found to actually control the pain and control the inflammation is frankincense. I use it every day. When I'm in a flare, I use it 3 times a day, and then I use it daily or every other day as maintenance when I'm not flaring. So it's been a blessing to me. Definitely, it's the only thing to keep me from being in excruciating pain. But it's also great. I use it on the kids to boost their immune system if they're sick. I also use the Valor again every day for my son. I do a mix of about 80% Valor, 20% vetiver. If I'm going to add the cedarwood, I'll add another 20% of cedarwood. I do know some people that add an extra 10% of frankincense for an extra boost. So there's no really wrong way you can go with the oils, however blend you want to make it. You really can't mess it up. It doesn't have to be perfect, and every child's going to respond differently to different blends or different oils as well. Another tip for using it would be on the left and right side of the brain, you can put 2 drops using opposite fingers. So you would put your right hand, put 2 drops, and then rub it on your left side of the brain, and then again put 2 drops on your left hand and rub that on the right hand side of the brain. But again, it's one of those that you really can't go wrong. Just get it on the body. I like to put it on the back of the neck as well. These 2 oils are great for helping with emotional balance and just creating a loving attitude. You're going to be able to apply it to yourself. You can apply it to your children. Stress Away is what I call my mommy chill pill. When I'm starting to get a little overwhelmed, like when the beginning of the school year started, I had a big mess up with the bus system with my kids. It created a lot of stress. I grabbed my Stress Away. I did not lose it. I didn't lose it. I kept my Stress Away with me, and I put it all over. It really did help. Another neat thing about the Stress Away, since I carry it with me in my purse every day, my daughter was at the library with the boys, and she tripped and fell and landed headfirst into a bookshelf. Immediately, she had a line down her forehead that was turning purple and red, and looked pretty nasty. I grabbed my stress away. It's the only oil I had with me at the time. I rubbed it on her forehead. Within a few seconds, she stopped crying. And then I noticed that it never got any deeper. The bruising never, instead of turning purple, it started to turn pink and it started to fade. 24 hours later, it was completely gone. And it was a pretty nasty bruise. So again, it's one of those situations where use whatever oils you have with you in the case of emergency. So in that, it was great. I put it on her. It calmed her down very quickly, and it kept the bruise from getting bigger. So that was pretty cool. Now, here's another interesting fact is that a lot of hospitals and medical centers are starting to use Young Living essential oil. There are many more hospitals that we could add to this list, but that's just, it's so interesting that the hospitals are starting to understand the benefit of essential oils and diffusing. Not only does it increase the mood, but you're also going to have the benefits of the germ killing, and those airborne microorganisms are getting rid of those as well. So that's pretty interesting. These are some of the diffusers that you can get through wholesale. These are the wholesale prices. You can get these at Young Living. I personally like the USB diffuser because it does set off a little, it's like a pulsing 10, 30, or 60-second intervals of the oils. You put a little drop in there. It's great for studying. It's great for when, even as parents, when we're trying to do lesson plans for our kids or trying to organize their homework or schedules and things like that. It's great to have it in the laptop. A lot of cars nowadays, too, also have the USB ports in the car, so you can have it in the car on the way or to or from school. But then you also have that travel diffuser, which is pretty cool too. You can just put it in your car again, and you can travel with it. I do know some people that when they go out of town, they carry the travel diffuser with them. You can go camping with it since it runs off of batteries. You don't have to worry about having a plug to plug it in. So this is a great one to have if you want to put purification in, and then you're outside in the yard, or if you're out camping with the purification. It's going to work like those, better than those bug plug-in thingies that you put on your belt. This would be a really great way to use that when you're out there traveling. So the last two oils that we're going to talk about is Panaway and Peppermint. And this is going to be oils for sprains and injuries, for sports injuries, for those growing pains or muscle cramps or spasms. Of course, the peppermint, again, is one of our favorites in this house. It's great for headaches. I don't get headaches very often, but when I do, I put a little drop on my temple. Keep it away from the eyes or the nose, even the mouth, because it is one of the oils that we call hot, like the thieves. So we will produce a hot or burning sensation is the only way I can describe it, but I personally love it. I put a drop on my temple, and I rub it a little bit underneath my nose every day. It works for me like taking a shot of espresso without the jittery caffeine feeling. I also use peppermint under my nose before a workout, and it helps me get through a workout without having that fatigue. It does increase alertness. It does get rid of the headaches, and it's great for sinus congestion. Just use it when you're using these with your children. If you have to dilute first, and then you can back off the dilution ratio as they get accustomed to it, or as they say. I have one child, my 2-year-old, who loves peppermint. I could put it right on her belly. We use it for constipation. She, again, before we found essential oils, Young Living essential oils, she suffered with extreme constipation. A couple of drops on her lower belly. She hasn't had any more of that constipation again. So she uses it fine. My 4-year-old does not like the feel or the smell of peppermint. So if I use it for him when we all got sick just recently with food poisoning, probably from my cooking, so I use peppermint on his stomach, and he doesn't like it. So I do dilute it for him. For me, I personally like that warm feeling as well, so I will use it undiluted. So the Panaway is also great for if you start new workouts, now that your kids are in school, maybe you're going to the gym, taking some me time. Apply it directly on location. You can also apply it to the spine. And then, of course, with any type of injury, you want to apply your essential oils, cover with a cold compress, and then use your rest, your ice, your compression, and your elevation. So don't forget to do the rice. One last thing that I want to talk about is our Immune Booster Ninja Red. This this drink, it's a supplement type drink where it helps with energy, it helps balancing the mood, it even has vision support and neurological function support. So I know you're not going to carry 59 heads or pieces of broccoli to every sports game or every ball game that your kid goes to. You're not going to have 100 oranges in your bag to make your kids eat 100 oranges. But that's what the Ninja Red has. It does have the benefits of having 22 carrots, 22,000 almonds without the calories, let me tell you, if those of you are watching your calories. It is the highest level of immune boosting. It's great for inflammation. It's four times of the number 2 source, which is red chili. So it has 4 times of the inflammation boosting properties in it. The vitamin C, it has 3 times the benefits of a vitamin C of oranges, of just one orange, so 3 times that. It helps with blood pressure. It has 5 times the potassium of bananas. So you're not going to eat 5 bananas in one sitting, but you can have just your 2 ounces of a Ninja Red and it would serve the same purpose. It's also great for your liver. It's the highest level of liver protecting compounds. It has 3 times the level of eye protecting benefits as the number 2 source, which is raw egg yolk. So instead of eating all these raw egg yolks that have a lot of calories, again, you can reach for your Ninja Red. It also helps to build muscle. It's 22% more protein than raw eggs. And it has 91% more fiber than raw oats. So you can see that the Ninja Red is a great supplement. It comes in these really cute little 2-ounce packs that you can just carry in the car. I know a lot of people that carry them in their purse, carry in their car. Stick in your kid's lunchbox. I remember as a child, even then, I had the after lunch crash because lunch food is not the best either. So stick this in your kids' lunchbox. Let them have lunch, and then they're going to have the little Ninja Red boost after, so they don't have that crash on their next period class. They're going to be able to get through the end of the day without crashing. So these are just some of the benefits that we use of the Young Living essential oils and the supplements. Another great way to get all of your oils and your Ninja Red is on the Essential Rewards program. So be sure to go back to the person who has sent you this video. You can always contact me directly. Again, my name is Tanya Hilton. I'm a Young Living independent educator. If you'd like more information on these oils or how to get started yourself with a wholesale membership, let me know, or let the person who sent you this video know more information on that, and we can help you get started. So you can get started with the Essential Rewards program, or like many of us, you can start with just your wholesale premium starter kit. Get 11 oils, get your home diffuser, get your sample packets of Ninja Red, all that for one price. Get the benefits of a wholesale membership. That's 24% off every order. And then once you fall in love with your oils, which will be within a couple days, then just let us know and we'll help you get up on your Essential Rewards program as well. So again, I want to thank you all for joining me today. My name is Tanya Hilton, and I look forward to working with you soon. Thank you.